Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Halfway twisted.
Here we are once again at the Palacio de Congresos, the exhibition centre in Marbella. I'm going to welcome my guests upstairs in the Foreigners Department. A lot of you don't know it exists, but it's a great space where we can have meetings, but above all, we can go and get information from the town hall regarding anything to do with being an international resident in the city. There's also a bi-weekly newsletter that goes out to everyone, which you can sign up for. And the good news is that if you've got some information to share, you can send it to the Foreigners Department for them to include in that newsletter. Anyway, let's meet the guests of this week upstairs. Let's go. Those who watch the programme regularly will have heard of CIT Marbella. It's a fabulous business networking association, very well established in the Spanish system. So whether you're a Spanish or English or international company, small or large, this is certainly an association that's interesting for you. Also, for over a decade now, they've been sending one of the members to my program so that we get to meet the different people that make up our fabulous city. I'm delighted to welcome today Dr. Thomas Berger, and he is a traumatologist, but you are...
And an orthopedic surgeon.
An orthopedic surgeon. I've been
Correct.
practicing that all morning. Orthopedic. I even looked it up to see what orthopedic surgeons do, because fortunately, I've never needed one. Thomas, how lovely to welcome you to Marbella Now.
Thank you very much for having me. It's wonderful.
My pleasure. Where are you from originally?
I grew up in Berlin, which used to be West Berlin. And I went to medical school there. And then somebody invited me to come over to London. And I did all my training thereafter in London. And eventually I migrated to this part of the world.
How long have you been on the coast?
About 18 years.
18 years?
Yes.
Oh, so you're certainly part of the furniture.
Well, not really. Maybe.
You're with HC International, which is a lovely hospital, or it's a very, very pleasant. It's hard to know that you're actually going into a hospital when you go there, because it's also very welcoming and pretty and lovely.
Yes.
And orthopedic surgeons I now deal with when you have broken bones and I suppose arthritic complaints as well.
Correct.
Anything
That's
to
correct.
do with the actual skeleton.
Absolutely
and
correct.
things that happen to us. And as we get older, things happen to us.
Exactly. So at HC, I'm concentrating on hips and knees, mainly on knees.
Well, there you go.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
Very important if you
Very
want to walk.
suitable
Yes.
for the community that makes up Marbella.
Exactly.
How do people, because you hear this all the time, broken my hip.
Yes.
This seems to be a very common thing, and the same thing as damaging our knees. Why is this such a typical problem as we get older?
Well, the fracture of the hip or the neck or femur is a problem of the osteoporotic bone. And osteoporotic bones are getting softer, and small falls or twisting movements can cause a fracture of this bone. And that's the upper end of the thigh bone, which is really very close to the hip joint, and fractures there, well, are very life-changing
So it comes
events.
to the osteoporosis syndrome, which again is also very synonymous with particularly women, isn't it?
That is
That's
correct.
more tendon.
Yeah, these are we call them fragility fractures. The bone gets soft. We have similar problems in the spine or the wrist. These three areas are very typical for people with osteoporosis, and it affects men and women. Women maybe a little bit more than men. That's an acute problem. Whilst we deal with this as a traumatologist, I deal with this about 100 times a year. Not at HC. At HC, I'm concentrating on the elective side of orthopedics, which is the planned treatment of conditions.
And who would need a planned treatment? How does one...
Somebody who has pain in the knee and the pain is getting gradually worse, and the house doctor, the general practitioner, has prescribed painkillers, and the painkillers initially work and then they don't work anymore, and eventually it becomes so bad that patients can't really walk anymore, and that's when they come usually and see an orthopedic doctor. And
what kind of things can you do to help that? Particularly if the bones are soft, where do you hook things into if bones are soft?
Exactly. So, I mean, we try to do as little as possible. or a little as necessary. And obviously, if it's possible to make people more comfortable without an operation, then we'll try that. And that could be advice on physiotherapy, an injection into the knee with steroid or with a gel. But often patients come with more advanced osteoarthritis, wear and tear in their knee. And we then quite frequently see that bone is already grinding on bone and the leg becomes bent. And
it's hurting me just hearing you talk about it. My whole body's cringing.
And these patients, obviously we assess them, we examine them, we listen to their history and their development of their complaints, and we get x-rays. And once the x-rays show that there is bone rubbing on bone in a joint, say for instance the knee joint, we can then discuss joint replacement. And joint replacement is routine surgery and routine treatment for many years, but it has gradually evolved.
I'm thinking back to the old days, and you think about replacing joints, and then thinking of like the 3D printers and the things that they can make now. It must be very exciting for you in your profession to see the options that have opened up to you, I would imagine, over the past few decades.
Yes, I mean, the joints have changed, the implants have changed themselves, but also the way we put them in. Say in the 60s, the surgeon would see the bone and take a saw and make a cut, and that should be good. And then in the 70s and 80s, more refined jigs and tools were sort of developed that would help you to get the cuts correct and get the leg alignment as well as possible. And in the last few years, the development has been to use electronics or computers and robotics to further refine and improve the process of implanting these joints. So it's not about necessarily printing the joints for a patient, it's about getting the joint into the best possible position, which allows a natural and a patient-specific leg alignment, and to get a ligament balance in the knee that gives you a knee that is really stable throughout the range of movement, not slack when you bend it. And whilst this is possible with mechanical or traditional instruments, we've now made a step where we're using computer-aided and intelligent instruments, which basically allow us to plan the operation before we actually do the operation. Would you like me to talk a little bit about
Yes, I
more
would.
about that?
Yes, I would. I mean, just thinking of AI and all the abilities I have in my work-day, that could be useful for you is interesting.
So basically, it is an operation like a regular knee replacement. The patient's in the operating theater, and we have to open the knee. I don't want to get into details here. And we have to apply a couple of markers to the shin bone and the thigh bone. And these communicate with the computer. And then we teach the computer where the leg is and how the leg is shaped. And to do that, we'll scan in points of the ankle, we'll scan in central points in the shin and the thigh bone, and we'll scan in the center of the hip by rotating the hip. And the computer learns the leg alignment, and he learns the leg alignment through the range of movement as well. And then we register the joint surface. That means we have a stylus and we draw along the joint surface. As we draw along the joint surface, a picture develops of the virtual knee as it is in the patient. And once this process is completed, it takes about 5 minutes, the computer understands the dynamic, understands the anatomy of the leg, but also how the leg moves and what the dynamic of the ligaments is and so forth. And then the computer can give us a generic position of the implant, and then we can refine the position by moving it virtually on the screen. We have a sterile screen, and we can just move the implants a little bit. And with every movement, we can immediately see how it affects the leg axis, the alignment, or the ligament balance, and so forth. And so we're trying to not have a standard leg alignment, which one fits all. We want to have a leg alignment that matches the patient's original anatomy. And we'll do that by moving the implants by half a degree this way or that way and shifting them around until we're completely happy that the implant position will give the best possible outcome. And only then, and that process takes another 5 minutes, and only then we press a button and then we use the robotic part, and that is a handheld robotic tool that helps us remove the bone only where it's necessary. And the tool is guided by the computer. It also communicates with the computer or with the robot, and it only cuts bone where we want to cut bone. So even if you hold it in the wrong position, it will not cut. It will only cut exactly where it was planned to remove some bone. So when we talk about not cutting away the knee like this, we're really talking about a few millimeters on the edge of the joint, because what it is at the end of the day, it is a joint resurfacing with that.
It's funny how you're saying this. I'm thinking of my German Shepherd,
yes.
which is very often a problem with them, is that they have this problem with the socket of their...
Well, this is arthritis usually.
Interesting.
Yeah. So once we have planned the operation, and we can carry then out the bone resection, we then put a trial in, and then we can trial it again and move it again, and the computer will recognize, and we can then see whether we have achieved what we're set out in the beginning of the operation. And only once we're really happy that actually the knee moves as we want it to move, the ligaments are stable as they should be, that's when we then glue the final prosthesis into the bone, and then we close up.
Wow. I would imagine with all these advancements then the recovery time is also a lot better than it would have been before, well, if you're being more precise and...
I'm not sure whether the recovery time is hugely different, but what it is, the precision of the implant is better, and the leg alignment is planned. It's not one leg alignment that the jig tells you to choose. It is a leg alignment that you're choosing to recreate the patient's anatomy.
What kind of time is there for recovery when someone has a hip
or knee replacement? A knee replacement. Knee replacements probably take a little bit longer. Patients stay 2-3 days, sometimes 4 days in the hospital. They will use crutches for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and by 6 weeks they come off the crutches and they think they're good. But in effect, there is still rehab in progress. When I see my patients at 6 months, they think they're perfect, but it is only probably after a year that they really forget about their knee. And that's what we want. We want
but I suppose if they've been in pain for so long, not having that excruciating pain makes them feel better, because comparably they're a lot better.
Absolutely.
Which is good.
The excruciating pain from the arthritis is gone after the operation. Obviously, this is an operation which includes cutting bone, and cutting bone causes post-operative pain. And we manage that.
Is this the same type of procedure if you've got arthritic hands or things like that, or is it each part of the body has certain options that you can do?
Yeah, and there are different procedures for different parts of the anatomy, but joint replacement can be done in the shoulder, in the hip, in the knee, in the ankle, and also in fingers. So yes, there is a similarity, and yet it's appropriate.
Why did you choose this speciality of medicine?
It was coincidence, I suppose. I had an uncle who was an orthopedic surgeon. That was a little bit of a role model. And then I came to London, and my consultant at the old Westminster Hospital, which is a traditional teaching hospital, said, "So Thomas, what do you want to do with your life?" And I said, well, once I had a sort of a spark and a quick thought, and I thought he's an orthopedic surgeon, I better say orthopedics. So I said, orthopedics, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon. And he said, well, I'm sure we can help you along, and he did. And you know, the struggles from being a junior doctor, getting into training programs and so forth, that's very competitive. And I had a little bit of a supporter there, a mentor, I would say.
And how nice that you can carry that on here on the coast and do what you like doing. Do you also play golf and other things?
Well, I used to, but I got too busy to play golf.
Too successful?
I don't think. Yes, I still work in a public hospital settings where I work long hours and where I do a lot of these operations.
So you're a nice person as well, not just a good doctor, but also a good guy.
I think so. I think the balance of both is good. I mean, obviously HC is a private hospital and we do private medicine, but I think it's also fair to provide for the community and do that.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Thomas Berger.
Thank you very much.
Berger, if you're saying it in the German way.
Correct.
That is good. Thank you ever so much, and thank you to CIT Marbella. And you just heard, any problems with your knees, this doctor is the guy to sort it out for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hey, hey.
Hi guys, Ross here from Hoganstown. Proud to be a member of the Zero Hero campaign, and we recommend everybody. Nobody drives drinking. Everybody who drives a car doesn't have any alcohol in their system, and we're proud to sponsor the Zero Hero program.
You've been out of shape and you feel like you've missed it. You dropped out the
Zero Heroes.
Welcome to Vigo Anus. Zero Hero, welcome to Belmari.
hey, hey, it's a brand new hey, hey.
I am delighted to welcome Esther Rayeth to the program. In her own name and own quality as an independent businesswoman with a fabulous social networking company that she's just launched, which I'm very happy that I'm collaborating with for my initiatives for Good Morning Spain, Marbella Now, Zero Hero. But today, we're not going to talk necessarily about the social media aspect, although we can and we probably will. But today you've actually come on as February is 7 years this month that your lovely brother passed away from leukemia. And your brother achieved amazing things at the age of 20, increasing bone marrow donations by over 1,000%, campaigning on internet when there was basically no understanding or use of internet as we have today to communicate. And I think it's lovely that you've created this Siempre Fuerte, Stay Strong association to raise funds and awareness, not just for leukemia, but for all aspects of cancer. So congratulations,
Thank you
first
so
of all,
much.
because you've really taken a difficult situation and turned it into positive wherever you can.
Yeah, it's emotionally challenging for me. Every year is different, and of course time is good that we've got time in the hands. So it makes you feel a bit different, but still, if you go to the core of the situation, my brother's not here, and that's what you only think about, that my brother's not here. Anyways, I do have a lovely family. I do have a daughter, which I put all my love, and all the love I can't give to my brother, I just give to her and my family and my work, as you mentioned before. So,
Congratulations on that too, because you do have a lovely social media company and all kinds of promotion and marketing, and you're giving talks at the local universities.
I am.
And after 8 years at Codeca, doing a fabulous job, it's lovely to see that you're growing, your family's growing, and you're, as a person, have stepped out there into the world to say, okay, let's see what life has to offer.
I'm so thankful to Codeca that I could learn, I could become an expert in communication, because I was working for Codeca for so many years, and I had to deal with so many different situations and people, so that made me grow the knowledge that I have today about it, and that's something that connected me with you. And the moment I launched myself, you just knocking on my door. Oh, hello! I just want to help you. I just want to work with you. Let's give it a try. So I'm so thankful to you too as well.
But that's because of you. You are a lovely person. You're genuinely sweet. Whatever you do it as yourself.
Yeah, I do.
We were just mentioning off air that you have some lovely little reels that you put up on Instagram where this sultry Esther's like, let me share with you a secret about, and they're fabulous. I highly recommend you watch, because I find them just lovely. I actually go and look. Has Esther posted anything personally about her little tips?
What I try to do is things that are challenging for me personally, I just try to turn it around so it can be useful to other people in communication, so we can be better at communicating with others, so we can give love better and we can receive love better. It's not all about business. It's about how we present ourselves in the world and how we connect to each other. That's why I'm here with you to talk about my brother, because he was genuinely doing kind of the same thing in his ways, of course.
To think of a young person of 20 getting something like leukemia is shocking.
It was, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure unimaginable. I mean, is there any reason behind it? Is there any understanding of why this happens, or is it just potluck? It can happen to anybody.
Well, there is very deep understanding of that, and I don't think we do have time to discuss that in depth. But I think there's always a reason behind everything, but medically, there's no reason behind it. It's like lottery, it happens to you. However, that type of leukemia, it's mainly happening on two people like my brother, like very young, very energetic, very powerful, very strong, very fit, good diet. So that is the best recipient for
Curious, isn't it?
that type of leukemia, which was absolutely lethal.
It's such a shame that someone with such life and so many things to do in life, and with his girlfriend and the family and not meeting Sophia, but how lovely that we can keep Pablo with us. And I think through your Stay Strong, Siempre Fuerte, it's a wonderful way. The logo is beautiful with all the different colors of all the different cancers, but it's shocking to see that there are so many different types of cancers.
Well, yeah, and so many that will show up eventually, because this is just, well, of course we had COVID, but cancer was the pandemics of the world for so many years. I mean, it's something that's still with us. We don't know what to do with it, but still happening to so many. For my brother, when diagnosis was presented to us, he was very shocked, but he was very certain. He was very sure. He didn't want to present himself in a pitiful way. He wanted to be an example for so many, for other people. What he did was to tell everyone what he was feeling, what he was going through. He didn't know that was what we call today a strategy plan for social media, but he did it like a drop every day. He was saying something about his physical state, his mental state, spiritual mood. He was communicating through social media, and it was probably the beginning of it all, or the beginning of how we do understand social media today, as you said before, yes.
His endeavours to increase the donations of bone marrow, it's just impressive when we don't even understand that. I would never think of donating bone marrow. I didn't know that you could. I didn't know it was needed.
No, actually that's a very good point, because even myself, when I was very young, I didn't know. I thought it was that they remove your spine out of your back and then they gave you a new one. I mean, so far from that. It's not like that. It's about blood. So we all needed that information, not only because we have to donate, but because it's a knowledge that we need to give to the younger generation. So as I always say, my brother was hopeful that when students get to 18 years old, they would wish to become donors. So
I think, again, it's that getting the awareness out, letting people know that this is necessary.
Exactly.
How helpful that contribution, that self-sacrifice in that degree can help others.
It doesn't cost you any money. And you only go to the hospital if you get called by the hospital, because how do you say that in English? That someone that's
compatible.
Exactly. And unfortunately, it's difficult, but it happens. So you just need to give a sample of your blood, and then your DNA study is in their database.
And then if someone comes up that needs, and is it painful to extract what they need to do?
Well, the first time you just need to give a sample of your blood. That's not painful at all. And if you get the call, you need to go to the hospital. And well, it's not painful because they give you the anesthetic.
Anesthetic.
Yeah, anesthetic. So it's not painful, but you need to be in the hospital for a day. Yes.
Okay, but I mean, it's not.
But
it's
worth
doable.
it.
It's doable. It's
doable.
worth it, and it can
Yeah.
really make a big difference. With your association, Siempre Fuerte, Stay Strong.
Yeah.
You've got some lovely merchandising. Very
Yeah.
exciting, and you're using the
Very
funds
nice, yeah.
for that and other initiatives that you're doing to raise funds, but not necessarily, as we said, for the
No.
Stay Strong. You're using the Stay Strong to then, as an umbrella, for
Exactly.
you then to help different associations.
Yeah, so we're going to do these every year. So last year it was the first, it was the launching campaign. This is the second year we decided to help FMIC, which is a Malaga association, and they care for the psychological aspect of cancer patients. And it's Malaga based. So we're very happy to do that. What we do is just exactly what you said. We try to raise funds to help others. We don't need the money. Others need the money to do a lot of stuff. So we try to make it, we try to choose associations that are related to cancer somehow, but it doesn't have to be that way. It depends on the needs.
It's very nice that, in the sense of you understand the process, the finding out, the going through it, tragic loss, the psychological issues, not just for your brother, but for all of you. It must have been tremendous, and it's very reassuring to know that there are associations out there that are there to cover all the different aspects.
Yeah, the spiritual aspect is really important. Also the physical aspect, because it's just you and I that we're healthy, and we wake up in the morning, as you said the other day, I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror and oh, this is awful. It's not awful.
We're alive.
It's great.
Yes.
So when you become sick, or you become potentially, I mean, death illness, I don't know how to put it in English, like a very important illness, it's very different what you see in the mirror. Because what you see in the mirror is not real. It's your mind tricking you all the time. So it's really, really important we help associations like this.
Without a doubt. But I think it's absolutely fabulous, all the initiatives you're doing. Congratulations on your new business.
Thank you so much.
And
it's very
I'm
exciting.
delighted that it's going so well, delighted to be part of it. If you need Esther, remember me first.
Yeah, you are my first client, so you need all my, I mean, I'm going to be thankful
But
forever.
when things are right, they're right. They fall into place.
That's true,
It just
that's
worked
true.
out perfectly.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, again, I'm really sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that we can talk about Pablo and remember Pablo, a lovely young man from a beautiful family. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
And see you soon.
See you soon.
Hey, hey.
Zero Hero, welcome to the Sister Restaurant.
Zero Heroes, welcome to Urban Chai.
Groups, clubs and associations are a wonderful way of making friends and also contacts for business. We had a lovely chat with our CIT Marbella guest of the week earlier in the programme, and now we're going to welcome the lovely Sandra of the Synergias Club. Elena Olcina started this group and she's become a lovely friend, and it's very lovely now to welcome Sandra to the programme, and her company is German Kitchens. I wonder, possibly what they do. Could it be kitchens from Germany? Let's find out. Sandra, how lovely to see you.
Good morning.
We've been WhatsApping and chatting,
Yes.
getting ready for today.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation. It's my very first interview on television.
Well, what an honour that your first interview, I'm sure, of many, is with Marbella Now and our local town hall TV station, which is very cool that we get this opportunity to meet other people who live in our city, and opportunity to say to make friends, but also to find out what we can benefit from our international community, over 140 nationalities.
Yes.
A lot of Germans.
Yeah.
Do you feel very at home here? Do you have a German, like, I don't want to say ghetto, but do you live in Little Germany, or do you...
No, I live in Little England. I live in La Duquesa.
Okay.
But
Little
I
England.
work in Estepona. I have my shop in Estepona, and Estepona is very international. So we have a lot of Swedish clients, English, Germans, obviously Austrians, Swiss, actually from whole Europe. So I think the quality of life in Estepona is really high.
We are blessed along the Costa del Sol, without a doubt. The weather generally is wonderful, but also the people, because I think we're an international community.
Yes.
Everybody's out to be happy. In general, we're looking to have a nice life, make the most of the day, and at the same time work and make friends.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to find such a nice place like here, because you have very friendly people, you have happy people because there's the sun. You have an international community. My daughter, she's 12, so she speaks fluently 3 languages, and this you probably would not get in Germany.
And that is such a big advantage. I know from myself, having Spanish just changed my life. The doors it opened, and once you've got the few basic languages, you can guess others.
Yes.
Except German.
German is a bit tricky. I think you have to...
I had home Deutsch in my car for like 2 years, driving the kids back. I did a lot of work in Germany with German companies, and I wanted to learn. Ich möchte sprechen Sie Deutsch, but
if
it's
you ever
difficult.
Want a lesson, you call me or my daughter, and we will.
It's difficult.
I think
the Latin languages, I think, are easier to grasp, and all these long words that you have in German.
Exactly, that's really true.
Putting all the words together
put them together and they make really long words. That's true.
The company name is Spanish Kitchens? German Kitchens. Do you bring them from Germany?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. So it takes around 2 to 3 months, depending on the model, to bring them over. But most of the people, they are building a new villa or an apartment, or they're doing some building work in it. So there's normally enough time to wait for the kitchen.
Why would we want a German kitchen over an English kitchen or a Spanish kitchen? Tell us the magnificent... I'm sure there's a really great features that we don't have.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of different companies, that's true. So the first thing people have to think about, more or less, how much money I would like to spend on a kitchen. It's the same with a car. So if you want really good quality and you want a kitchen that lasts and has nice features, then you have to spend a little bit more of money. If you don't want the doors going click, click, or things like that. Our drawers, they run very smoothly. You have a kitchen for 25, 30 years, and it will be always perfect. And a kitchen now is like a living room. People live in it, so it's very important that it looks nice, but as well it's practical. We have clients that just want to look it nice because they have an open space,
there's a lot of open plan design now. That's like the thing. So if you don't have a pretty kitchen, it can ruin the whole aesthetics.
Exactly. You try to make it a whole big living room. So if you're a mom, you can cook, but you can still interact with your children, for example. And lots of people, they come and they say, oh, we want to take the wall out between the kitchen and the living room and make it a whole big room. So obviously you want it to look nice. And if you are really cooking and you like to be in the kitchen, then you want nice appliances, good units. As well, a lot of our clients are between 60, let's say 50 and 70. So what they want as well, it has to be really practical. You don't want to get into units and take everything out. You want everything to have it really in a nice place. You take the pull-out out, you have everything organized there, and then you pull it back and you go.
Very important is those little aspects where you have things. Where I live now, the kitchen is like, there's a cupboard so high up to the right over the sink. It's like, am I really going to get the ladder out every time I want to use the cupboard? It's so badly thought out.
Exactly. I mean, a kitchen is a very personal thing, because what some people think is comfortable, other people think that's horrible. This is for the design and as well for the colors and things like that. So you really have to talk to the people that are in the kitchen or that will be in the kitchen, because sometimes there comes a couple and it's very funny because he gives all the advices, but he's never doing anything in the kitchen, and the woman is getting upset and says, but let me do my thing, you know. But it's really a thing that we talk to the people. I have obviously a very nice showroom in Estepona, so people can open things, they can have a look, or which worktop height is perfect for me, which
that's another issue with the height, particularly in the sense of, say, the Spanish people have over the years always been smaller.
Exactly.
Now it's different, and the youngsters are bigger. I'm not sure if it's the McDonald's or the cereal, but something changed. But there again, my son-in-law is very tall.
Yes.
And every time he works in the kitchen where they live, he literally opens his legs to bring himself down to a level that he can. I know it's like, for me it's fine, but I'm 5'1".
Yeah.
But he's 6'1", and it really is very uncomfortable.
Exactly. So you can have worktop heights from 94, even 97 for tall people. We have there's lots of Scandinavian people here at the coast. So all the Swedish, they are more or less like the Germans, or they used to be big as well. So you need to have a good worktop height to be able to cut things, to prepare things.
But they're things you wouldn't think about unless you're tall.
Exactly.
You can't imagine what they're going through.
Yeah. Or they have the oven on a view height, which is really practical as well. Not have it underneath the hob. So most of the people that put a new kitchen in, they have it on a higher level.
Again, thinking of older people, you want to just be able to take things out the oven and not the bending down, the lifting up weights.
Absolutely. That's the point. So we can really make every kitchen very practical, especially sometimes if the people buy an apartment that is 25 years old or 30 and has this really, really old kitchens. It completely changed their life.
So you go in, you do the planning for everything, you sit down with them, discuss all the different aspects that the person using the kitchen would need.
Exactly. Some people, they have already a very defined idea from what they want. And other people say, oh, you think about and you give me the ideas. So we have a very nice computer program where we can design the kitchen and they see exactly how it will look like. This helps a lot of people. So we organize everything, I do the design, and then they say, oh, and how would it look if we change this unit to a glass unit, for example? And then we change it and they say, oh, I like it with the glass unit. Why don't we leave it like that? So it's always or often a process, a development.
Well, it's nice that you can actually have the aid of technology to see it before you just do it, because it's hard for some people to imagine and visualize what it's going to look like.
Yeah, especially when you take walls down, you get different paints, you get a different floor. It's just a completely different room.
Are there color trends and different fashions that come up each year that one incorporates in kitchens?
We have some new things that come up, some work and some not. So we had many years with very white, now it's maybe white with some wooden colors. We get now more worktop colors like blue and green. So you can see that people are getting a bit more brave and want to maybe integrate some more colors in their kitchen.
How long have you been on the coast?
I've lived here for 25 years. I came very young, actually as an au pair, and then I just liked it, so I stayed here. And later then I opened the kitchen shop.
So you didn't come doing that from Germany, it's something that you came here.
I came very young.
Well, that's an interesting step to take, to move into kitchens.
Yes, I was not even cooking, to be honest, when I started my career in kitchens, but I met an Austrian guy, he had a kitchen shop, and he said, oh, why don't you come and work for me? So it was actually by coincidence. I wanted to stay, I loved my life here, so I said, okay, I can try to learn about kitchens, and that's now, like more than 20 years ago.
It's funny how we fall into our careers, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it was really by coincidence. Absolutely.
You learned a lot. You realised you were good at it, and it's like,
yes.
okay.
I like my clients because it's very international. So I have well-educated clients, always interesting. They are, it's just a nice way of working. They come on time, which is nice as well. You make an appointment at 12 and the client is there at 12.
So
and
no Spanish customers welcome.
You see,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
But we maybe have one Spanish customer a year. I will go to the Spanish television as well, so maybe we can improve that. But it seems that the foreigners, it's more important to them what is in the house, nice kitchen.
I think also we just stick to what we know.
Exactly.
A Spanish person wouldn't necessarily think, I'm going to go buy a German kitchen. They might think you only speak German.
Yeah.
But obviously you speak English and you speak German and you speak Spanish.
Exactly, fluently.
Muy bien.
So, muy bien.
Muy bien.
Todos los españoles están bienvenidos.
Wonderful to meet you. Really look forward to coming and visiting your showroom in Estepona. I'm sure it's equally as gorgeous as you are. And a big thank you to Elena Alpina of Synergies Club for sending along Sandra. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much. The same.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.
I'd just like to remind everybody who's not part of the EU that we need to renew our padrón, our subscription to the town census, every 2 years. If you are part of the EU, it's every 5 years. But us Brits now are no different from Americans, Canadians, and if we haven't had our renewal done in the last 2 years, we need to do it. On the 5th of March, the cities have to eliminate all the different subscriptions to the Padron if they haven't been renewed. And it's important that they know how many people are living in the city, which they know by us signing on to the Padron, in order to cover the costs of policing, hospitals, fire brigade, and collecting rubbish as just some of the basic things we take for granted. So please, if you are English or no longer part of the EU, think back. Is it more than 2 years since you've renewed your census? If so, please do contact the town hall and find out how you can do that. It's ever so simple, and I'm just realising that probably includes me, because the last time we did a campaign to sign up the Padron was definitely a couple of years ago. Anyway, thank you for remembering that. It is very important for our city. Regular viewers will have seen the Trondheim Gallery many times on Marbella Now, because I love to go to a gallery, and the La Campana area with the industrial estate has become actually quite a hub, and that's where Matthias Trondheim had his gallery for the last few years. However, Matthias is deciding to make a big brave move to Madrid, and I thought it would be lovely to bring him on the programme before he leaves to find out a bit more. Matthias, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm just very excited for you.
Yeah, me too. And I'm actually not leaving. Sorry.
Yay!
No, but well, I'm moving my big space to Madrid, and I've been working in Madrid for years, other stuff, and doing a lot of fairs, art fairs there. So, for me, being in Madrid is very natural. I love the city. I think it's actually one of my favorite cities in the world. I do some business in the U.S., New York too, and in Sweden, but that's just because I'm Swedish. I can't help that. But so I'm closing my space here, or it's actually already closed, and I'm gonna do some pop-ups here in Marbella in a different way. But my new big thing is Madrid.
Well, I'm delighted that you are still going to be sharing your time between both places and that we don't lose you, because you're definitely an asset for the city. You're very integrated, and we get used to the people that we have around. We don't want them to leave, but I think it's a wonderful move to Madrid. Tell us where you're opening your gallery.
We're opening it in una barrio. It's a gentrification area, actually. It's a big area in Madrid called Carabanchel. And some of the parts of Carabanchel is getting really good. Some are a little bit left behind, and some are still not so good. But it's a big part of Madrid. And Carabanchel, we are in the good parts, and I would say I'm from the suburbs of Stockholm, so I'm not really afraid of this. I kind of feel at home. So
But the cities expand.
But the city's expanding.
It's like Treca used to be like a suspect area, and now it's like the most chic part of Madrid. You can go to it, so cool. And Carabanchel's doing the same. Is gradually galleries are moving in and just bringing up the area.
Yeah, I would actually compare it to Brooklyn in New York 20 years ago. I think this is sort of the Brooklyn of Madrid. So I like it. It's a big, nice space, and I'm not alone. It's at least 10, 12 other good galleries there. And then over 300 artists have their studios there since many, many years. So it's definitely the new art center of Madrid, and it's up and coming. And it's very affordable. You get this big, industrial spaces that I like, So, I feel very, very pumped.
It's imminent now. You're opening on the 1st of March.
1st of March.
1st of March, if you're in Madrid.
Yeah, if you're in Madrid, you have to come.
Tonheim Gallery.
You have to come. Tonheim Gallery in Carabanchel. I haven't, Calle Miguel Mayor, número 1.
Good address.
Yeah. Anyway, and it's like my neighbor is another gallery too. So we are like sharing a big storage together. So it's really, and it's actually through a good friend of Madrid who's a professor at the art university.
So all the contacts are made and ready to welcome you and help you in this incentive.
I have to say the art community is very, very welcoming. I mean, I come from the world of sports. I did a lot of sports, and everybody says that, it's such a comradeship in sports, and it is, and it's very welcoming. But try to be a guy and go see a football match and start asking questions about what is offside, who's the guy in the black shirt doing the whistle, and people look at you as if you're really stupid. So we take some stuff for granted. Then on the art world, people think it's so complicated, so coded, I don't feel welcome. Nonsense. I mean, if you walk into a gallery and pay attention, or actually ask a question, we're not spoiled with that attention, so you get the warmest welcome, and artists are very lovely. The only one to make the art world a little bit complicated is like people like me, the gallerists and curators and critics, But artists I find very, very, very welcoming, and it's art for me is such a natural part of my life.
Who are you going to open the gallery with? What exhibition are you going to show?
I'm showing new works by a Slovakian artist. He's based in Prague and New York. His name is Martin Lukács, and he is one of those hip, young, emerging artists. And he's doing a really cool take on manlyhood, or like I have my background, what I've done in my life. And it's very interesting now that he's doing a show that's called, it's about the modern cowboy, sort of. Call Me Country is the title of the exhibition.
Like Marlboro Man, like the He-Man.
No, I mean, Martin is like, you can be both. I did all with my sons when they were small. I'm a widower, as you know, but I did change diapers, I gave them, milk, I did all. But at the same time, I was really much in another job, So I think as a man, you can be both soft and hard, but you have to know when to be what. And the urban cowboy, the modern legend that Martin is talking about is like this now, because you see it in fashion. You see it's coming back in TV. All these streaming services have their own sort of modern cowboy show, And it's like, at the same time, you're a little bit a lone ranger. And it's very much of the manly identity in this sort of the cowboy. It can be good and bad.
Art is so subjective. It's so personal.
Yeah.
Do you find that you literally just, it's my gallery and I'm going to put in the things that I like, or do you give in to what is the trend or what the general public are asking for?
This is a dilemma for me. But for me, because I have other businesses too, the art is actually one of my main businesses. People get the misconception it's a hobby or a passion. It's a passion for sure, because I buy more art than I can have room for, and more art
Hence
than I
the
can
storage
afford.
with your neighbor gallery.
Yeah, I have so much art, and I buy from other galleries too. But the thing for me, I have to have a feel for it. It doesn't mean that, and yes, it's very subjective, but it has to be quality, So it means that we only work with established artists that are, come from the good schools or the big universities. But of course, you have to make an exception to the rule. So sometimes you find, but it's 1 in 1,000 that makes it without the right background. It's like very hard. And for some reason, some people think like, I don't need an education to produce art, but you would never go to a dentist without the dentist degree, or a lawyer without the law degree, But
Does that make it, is it like help you sell in a gallery because you can validate their story?
But also the quality of how they make it, it's conceptual. They don't just paint nice colors. They have like some meaning with it. And for me, actually, art now is one of the last, I would say, outposts for free speech. And as a former journalist, I think that's super important. And today everything is, you know, sort of boxed in and safe, and people want to play. Don't want to upset anyone, and you know, you don't want to have a free debate. And people that have a different opinion, they actually get killed. Just look in Russia right now. Sorry, I'm not going to go into politics, but the art is actually part of how we communicate. So it's more for me than decoration. Then, of course, if I'm going to have it on my wall, and of course my girlfriend doesn't like it if it's not, you know, doesn't work with the interior. But at one point, it have to have something more than just nice colors for me to find it interesting. But of course, I don't only exhibit art that I find attractive. It can be something that's actually sometimes revolting or upsets me, but it has to awake something in me, an energy, an emotion, and it's about that. It's a message, and yeah.
I love that you making reference to the stories that a picture can tell, or how it can make you instigate feelings, create reactions. And I do agree that nowadays painting something is a way of expressing that perhaps we don't have the freedom to express in other ways. And when we were talking the other day, I mentioned like with Leonardo da Vinci, all these hidden messages, and all these things they're looking for, and the secrets that they're telling. And I imagine in those days also, you can't really speak freely, and then there needs to be a way of passing on information that the trained eye could appreciate.
We have that today too. If you look at one of the world's most famous artists, Chinese, Ai Weiwei, he is communicating a lot of through his art symbolics. And you know, China is not a democracy; it's super controlled, and it's a technocratical dictatorship. And some art is getting banned, but he's getting so powerful in the art world, so they can't stop him. They can't stop him, and he does his work very clever. And if you look at Eastern Europe, former Eastern Europe, you look at literature, how they do these fables to describe Stalin or the horrors of, you know, the Soviet Union. You know, it's all there in culture. So, and you know, my mother was an artist. She died young, and she was not a famous one. She's one of those many artists that never makes it. But it's sort of.
And that you wouldn't have put in your gallery because she didn't have the right education.
No, exactly. That's. I only have one painting left of her, but it's a homage to her, sort of. So, for me, art is on a different level. It's super important. But of course, it's not. Doesn't have to be serious. It can be. Martin Lukács, for example, that I'm showing now. It's a lot of humor. He has a big sense of humor. It's very colorful. It's, you know, you can interpret whatever you want on it. And I think some of the best art is the one that communicates on different levels. And that's why some, you know, my sons, they like art now. The oldest one works as a designer, but the youngest one was skeptical. But he works in my gallery sometimes. And when he saw the El Bosque in Madrid at Prado, he was mesmerized. I couldn't drag him out of there. He was like, he couldn't stop looking at this painting that's 600 years old. And he was like, how come they could paint history, present, and future at 1495 or something like that, you know? And he was just, and that something happens in you when you see that, and you learn a lot, not only about the world, but also about yourself. So, for me, it's a big difference about quality and taste. I can like junk food, okay? Because I have a craving for a burger. But then at the same time, I really appreciate a good Guide Michelin meal. You know, you eat 10 courses. And one thing doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, you don't have to take away one.
Exactly, it doesn't have to be one thing or the other.
No, you can have both. And that's the metaphor for the art. You can have like pop art that is like direct, and you sort of, is easy to digest. And then you can have, there's time for something more demanding too. So.
I can see that you like to make people think, that it's something that intrigues you, the mechanics of people's mind. You seem to
I learned something very young, that never underestimate people's intelligence, but don't overestimate their knowledge. It's a big difference. Knowledge, you know, is something you can be taught and learn, but intelligence, I'm a humanitarian. I believe in a philanthropist. I believe in humanity, but at the same time, people are, sorry to say, they're lazy. and they're in their comfort zone and they don't want to, step out of that.
I would say more fear than lazy.
Yeah,
I think
fear
a lot
lazy,
of
but some people are okay. Correct me. That's correct.
They're scared of making a mistake or doing the wrong
comfort
thing.
zone. Yeah. But some people are actually lazy. Sorry.
I don't think we can include you and I in that list.
No, I'm super busy.
Although sometimes I feel that I'm being lazy just because I'm not doing something, and I'm so used to doing something all the time that this guilt feeling of not doing something.
I have so many other faults, so just good I'm not lazy.
Oh, you're well too modest. You don't have any faults. You're a perfect human being, a perfect specimen.
No, you know my tattoo. My favorite quote by Leonard Cohen. It's there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. So I'm very attracted to the imperfection, that's what makes it interesting.
And I think that's wonderful. Perfectly imperfect. Matthias, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
1st of March in Miguel Mayor #1 in Carabanchel. The Tonheim Gallery opens its door at what time?
6:30 with Martin Lukács, and you're more than welcome. And if you don't like art, we have beer and wine. But anyway.
It'll be lovely. If you're in Madrid or going to Madrid, do check out Matthias's gallery. I know it'll be worth it. I love going to the gallery locally and look forward to visiting the one in Madrid. Thank you so much, Matthias.
Thank you. And we're also doing the big art fair in Madrid. The week after.
You're going to be...
No, Your Vanity. The
Your Vanity.
The up and coming one.
Well, congratulations and best of luck. I hope you sell it all.
Me too. Thank you.
Welcome to Sunday.
Hello customers are welcome to Restaurant Alameda in Oval Urban Hotel in Marbella.
Hi, I'm Monica.
Hi, I'm Paula.
We are sisters and we are here to talk to you because we are the founders of Family Support Group. This is a company that began many years ago when our mom died. It was something horrible for us because nobody can help us. And in this moment we decided that no one who faces a terrible illness can be in the same process like us.
So that was the reason that we created Family Support Group. And we bring you the doctors, caregivers, and nurses to your own house for help you.
Our mom wanted to be at home, and we had problems with the healthcare system in Spain because you must talk with a lot of doctors, you must try to investigate many things and many information, and we were absolutely alone.
We can bring you all the medical service to your house.
We want to be your family support group.
No one needs to pass away in a hospital or in a hospice. You can be in your own house with your family and with all the dignity and treatment that you need for your family. Call us. We are here for you.
Well, that's it for another week. I can't believe how quickly the hour goes by. A big thank you to my guests for joining us and to you for watching. If you would like to watch recordings of the program, you can do so from the rtvmarbella.tv website. You can also go to my website, nicoleking.es, to get information about the programs, links to the programs, a link to the Zero Hero website with an ever-increasing list of restaurant, bars and hotels offering free soft drinks to the designated drivers. And thank you. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and please do join us again for more of what's going on in Marbella right now.